All right, everyone, buckle up because today we're diving deep into A Course in Miracles. And yeah, I know the title sounds a little, well, maybe a lot, like every self-help book out there, but trust me on this one, this is different. We're talking about some seriously profound, even radical ideas. Essentially, A Course in Miracles claims to lay out a path. And get this path is supposed to lead us to unlock heaven. And how do we unlock heaven, you ask? Well, the answer, according to the Course, is through forgiveness. But, and this is a big but, before we even get to the how-to of forgiveness, this book throws us a curveball. It claims there's this huge difference between what's actually real and what we perceive as reality.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that grabs you when you start digging into A Course in Miracles. This distinction it draws between, and I'm going to use the capitalized words here, knowledge with a capital K and perception. Knowledge in this context is the ultimate truth, the reality that just is. Perception, on the other hand, that's what keeps us, well, kind of stuck in this illusion. Our limited, often fear-based experience of the world, that's perception with a capital P.
So hold on. It's like we're going through life wearing these like reality distorting goggles.
Yeah.
And we don't even realize what we're seeing isn't the full picture.
You got it. And here's where A Course in Miracles really kicks it up a notch. It suggests that this illusion, this distorted perception, it all boils down to our belief in separation. Separation from each other, from who we truly are, and ultimately from God.
Okay, so how does this all tie into that dream analogy I keep hearing about?
Right. The dream analogy, it's central to how this whole thing works. A Course in Miracles is basically saying that life as we know it, it's kind of like a dream. Convincing while we're in it, sure, but ultimately just an illusion. We think we're separate individuals, all struggling for resources, always striving for happiness in this like world of scarcity, you know? But the Course is saying, nope, that perception of lack, it's just that a perception, not the real deal.
Hold on a sec, rewind up. In a world of scarcity, what does that actually mean?
I mean, think about it. How often are we walking around feeling like we don't have enough? Not enough time, not enough money, not enough love, not enough recognition, you name it. That feeling, that underlying belief that there's just not enough to go around, that we always got to compete, got to strive for more, that's the principle of scarcity in action.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're practically programmed from childhood to believe there's only so much success, love, even happiness to go around.
Exactly. And that, my friend, is where the ego steps in. According to A Course in Miracles, the ego, it's that part of us that is totally invested in keeping this whole illusion of separation going. It just eats up this idea that we're incomplete, that we need to acquire things, achieve status, constantly prove ourselves to be worthy.
So basically, we're playing this game. We can never win because the rules are rigged from the get-go. Man, this ego sounds like a real charmer.
Chuckles. Well, let's just say the ego's game is one of endless seeking, but never truly finding. It keeps us stuck on this treadmill of always wanting more, always chasing after something that always seems just out of reach.
Okay, yeah, now this is starting to hit home for me. It's like, you know that feeling when you finally land that promotion, the one you've been killing yourself for? But then, almost immediately, you're already focused on the next goalpost, the next thing you need to achieve.
Exactly. We get so caught up in chasing external validation that we totally miss the inherent worth that A Course in Miracles says we already have.
Okay, so we're trapped in this dream, bound by the scarcity illusion, at the mercy of our own egos. This is starting to sound a little bleak, don't you think? But I have a feeling this is where forgiveness comes in, right? This whole radical forgiveness thing the Course keeps hinting at. So we're stuck in this ego-driven dream, this scarcity illusion. But how do we even begin to wake up? A Course in Miracles keeps hinting at this like radical form of forgiveness, but I don't know, it just feels like there's got to be more to it than just, letting go of past hurts.
You're right. It goes way deeper than just condoning bad behavior or pretending that hurtful things never happened. A Course in Miracles takes a much more, radical approach, I guess you could say. It's saying forgiveness is the key to dismantling this whole illusion.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So how does that actually work? How do we go from holding on to all that anger and resentment to, forgiving the seemingly unforgivable?
It starts with understanding what the Course even means by forgiveness. It's not about saying what happened was okay. It's about choosing to see things differently. Instead of seeing the world through the lens of our ego, with all its judgments and grievances and fears, we start to see through the lens of love,
Okay, I can kind of see that, but how do we actually put that into practice in our daily lives? Like, what about when someone cuts us off in traffic or betrays our trust or whatever? How do we forgive that?
It's about recognizing that beneath all the surface stuff, beneath the layers of hurt and anger. We're all essentially the same. We share that same divine spark, that same inherent worth. When we truly forgive, we're choosing to see past all the ego's projections, past the actions that we perceive as hurtful, and we connect with that shared humanity.
It's like choosing to see the person, the soul, beyond the behavior, right?
Yeah.
Not excusing the action, but recognizing that we're all just on our own journeys, often making mistakes along the way.
Exactly. And when we can extend that level of compassion, not just to others, but to ourselves too, that's when things really start to shift. We start to chip away at the ego's hold on us. We create space for genuine healing and a much deeper understanding of how connected we all really are.
So it's not about bottling up our feelings or pretending everything's fine. It's about choosing to view those feelings and the people who triggered them through a different lens, a lens of compassion and shared humanity.
You got it. And that, according to A Course in Miracles, that's the beginning of true forgiveness, the kind of forgiveness that can actually unravel the ego's grip and dismantle that illusion of separation, the one that keeps us trapped in suffering.
Okay, now this is where A Course in Miracles starts to click for me. It's not about letting anyone off the hook. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment and anger and stepping into this more expansive, more compassionate way of being.
And here's the thing. As we practice this radical form of forgiveness, as we dismantle the ego's hold and loosen the grip of this illusion, A Course in Miracles suggests we start to experience something pretty incredible. Glimpses of something it calls heaven.
Okay, heaven, now we're talking. We covered a lot of ground here. From the illusion of scarcity to the power of radical forgiveness. I'm ready to dive into this whole heaven concept. Let's do it. Heaven. I don't know about you, but that word always brings up these classic images, pearly gates, harps, fluffy clouds, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck in that kind of imagery, but A Course in Miracles takes a different angle. It's not talking about some far-off place you go when you die. It's more about a state of mind, a way of being.
So it's not so much about where you are, but how you are.
Exactly. Think about it like this. Imagine a world without fear, no judgment, where you're not constantly feeling like you have to defend yourself. Imagine every interaction, every moment just infused with love, acceptance, and understanding. That, my friend, that's a taste of what A Course in Miracles means by heaven.
Wow, that does sound pretty amazing, not gonna lie.
It is. It truly is. And the really wild part is that A Course in Miracles says this state of being, it's available to us right here, right now. It's not something we have to wait for or earn. It's something we can tap into by letting go of the ego's grip. By opening ourselves up to the truth of who we really are, to that love and unity that's at the heart of everything.
So by practicing this radical forgiveness we were talking about, by choosing compassion over judgment again and again, we're actually taking steps toward experiencing this heaven.
That's the general idea, yeah. It's not some overnight transformation or anything. There's no magic pill. It's a journey, a constant process of shifting our perception, of embracing the reality that exists beyond the illusions our ego tries to hold on to.
It's definitely a lot to process, I'll give you that. But here's something I've been wondering. If our reality is really a reflection of our collective consciousness, shaped by all our beliefs and thoughts and feelings, what do you think would happen if we all, collectively, chose forgiveness as our guiding principle?
No, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What if we all decided to just let go of that fear, the anger, the resentment?
Real.
What if we truly embraced our interconnectedness and actually made the effort to see the good in each other, even when we're facing conflict or struggling to understand each other?
That feels like we'd be stepping into some serious radical transformation territory, wouldn't we?
That's what A Course in Miracles is all about, really. It's about pushing past those limitations our ego tries to box us in with, breaking free from that cycle of suffering, and opening ourselves up to a world of peace, love, and unity.
Well, folks, there you have it. We've journeyed through the heart of A Course in Miracles, explored this idea of separation as an illusion, the incredible power of forgiveness, and even caught a glimpse of what the Course calls heaven. It's challenging, no doubt, but also incredibly thought-provoking and potentially life-changing. I want to encourage you all to keep exploring these ideas, maybe even pick up a copy of A Course in Miracles yourself and see where it takes you. And, as always, keep questioning, keep exploring, keep learning.